But there were no worries at Amber's 9th birthday party.
Honor roll, AP honor roll, and I had to do good things in the class and help.
So you make good grades. Especially the Pocahontas sheets brought a priceless reaction.
Turn it around and see what it is.
We have a breaking story to update you on. A child's body has apparently been found in North Arlington. The body was discovered late last night, and fear is it is the body of 9-year-old Amber Hagerman of Arlington.
Your phone buzzes. You glance down. It reads, Amber Alert. Black pickup truck. Last seen heading east. A child's life hanging on whether enough people look up from what they're doing. You've seen that notification hundreds of times. Maybe you've ignored it. Maybe you've looked twice. But do you know where it came from? On a warm Saturday afternoon in January 1996, a 9-year-old girl rode her pink bicycle into a parking lot 2 blocks from her grandparents' house in Arlington, Texas. 8 minutes later, she was gone. Her name was Amber Hagerman, and somewhere out there, a camera crew had been following her family for weeks, capturing the last images that would ever be taken of her alive. The world was never the same after she disappeared. Before we continue, kindly subscribe to Hidden Crime Files and drop your location where you're watching from. Amber Renee Hagerman was born on November 25, 1986, in Arlington, Texas, a city that sits right between Dallas and Fort Worth. She was her mother Donna's miracle. Donna had been told as a teenager that a medical condition might prevent her from ever having children. So when Amber arrived, she was everything. Donna raised Amber and her younger brother Ricky, born in 1991, near her parents, Jimmy and Glenda Whitson. The family wasn't wealthy. For a time, they relied on welfare to get by. But Donna was determined. She was working her way toward independence, and a documentary crew began filming the family's journey, capturing life inside a household held together by love, effort, and an unshakable bond between a mother and her daughter. The footage they captured would later become some of the most heartbreaking video ever aired on television. Amber helping her mother with paperwork. Amber reading to Ricky. Amber handing Donna a drawing she'd made at school. On camera, she said she'd gotten on the A honor roll, and she wanted to make sure her mom knew it. I had to get A honor roll, she explained to the crew matter-of-factly, and I had to do good things in the class and help. She was a 3rd grader at Berry Elementary, a Girl Scout working toward her junior badge. She loved butterflies. She loved her pink Magna bicycle, a Christmas gift she'd only had a few weeks. She'd just gotten Pocahontas bed sheets for her 9th birthday in November. She told her mom her favorite song was America the Beautiful. The line she liked most? For amber waves of grain. And just weeks before her world ended, the camera captured her 9th birthday party. The family singing, the candles flickering. Donna says, "Make a wish and blow 'em out, baby." Amber opens her gift from her mother. Heavy, she says, surprised. She didn't know what was coming in 7 weeks. None of them did. Those birthday images would become the last footage of Amber Hagerman ever recorded. Saturday, January 13th, 1996. The weekend started like any other. Donna brought Amber and Ricky to her parents' house in Arlington, a Saturday routine. They shopped, they visited the park, they stopped at Burger King for lunch. They arrived at the Whitson home around 3 p.m. It was an unusually warm day for January, the kind of day that makes kids antsy. Amber and Ricky asked if they could take their bikes out. The bikes always stayed at Grandma and Grandpa's, more room to ride there than at the apartment. Donna said yes, with one condition. Stay close. Around the block. Come right back. The last thing I told Amber was, stay with your little brother and y'all come right back. Amber grabbed her bike. She turned around and said, "Okay, Mommy, I love you." At approximately 3:10 p.m., Amber and Ricky pedaled away. Less than a third of a mile from the house sat the parking lot of an abandoned Winn-Dixie grocery store at 1600 East Abram Street. Closed for years, the lot still had a small riding ramp neighborhood kids had used for as long as anyone remembered. Amber and Ricky had been there before. It felt safe. Ricky rode one loop and got nervous. He didn't want to get in trouble. He told Amber they needed to head back. Amber wasn't ready. She wanted one more ride up the ramp. Ricky turned around and headed home without her. At 3:13 p.m., Ricky arrived at the house alone. The adults asked where his sister was. He said she was still riding. They sent him back to get her. When Ricky returned to the parking lot, it was empty. Just her bicycle lying on the ground. He pedaled home as fast as he could, burst through the door, and said the words that started a nightmare. "Sissy's gone." Donna went outside screaming her daughter's name, running through the neighborhood, hoping Amber would hear her and come home. She didn't. 78-year-old Jim Kevill was a retired machinist who lived near the old Winn-Dixie. He'd been working in his backyard that afternoon. His yard had a clear view of the parking lot. He saw Amber riding up and down the ramp. Just a kid on a bike. A Saturday afternoon. Then he heard her scream. He looked up. A black pickup truck had pulled into the lot. A man jumped out. He ran toward Amber, grabbed her under her arms, deliberately, carefully, avoiding the bicycle, leaving no fingerprints, and forced her toward the truck. Amber fought. She kicked. She screamed. It didn't matter. The man shoved her inside, climbed in behind her, and drove west before turning left onto East Abram Street at around 3:15 p.m., heading away from the nearby highway. Jim Kevill ran inside and called 911. His call came in at 3:18 p.m. Police arrived in under 3 minutes. They found her bike.
Well, he has poor eyesight.
Nothing else. The truck was already gone. Based on Kevill's account and his admission that his eyesight wasn't perfect, investigators built the following description. The suspect was white or Hispanic, in his 20s to 30s, under 6 feet tall, medium build, with brown or black hair. The vehicle? A black, short-bed, full-size pickup truck, single cab, non-sliding rear window, no chrome, no damage, no markings. It wasn't much, but it was all they had. Investigators were also concerned about something else, the laundromat directly across the street from the abduction site. On a Saturday afternoon, it would have been busy. Multiple people may have seen exactly what Kevill saw. But no witnesses from that location ever came forward. Police believed many may have been undocumented immigrants who feared making contact with law enforcement. Sergeant Ben Lopez, who worked the case from day one, made repeated public appeals. Immigration status was irrelevant. They needed information. Nobody called. Within hours, more than 50 police officers and FBI agents were activated. That night, every black pickup truck moving in the city of Arlington was being followed. Donna didn't wait. She made flyers with Amber's picture. She called friends, family, neighbors. The community responded. Volunteers flooded the Whitson house, people just wanting to help, wanting to do something. But as the search party grew, a new fear set in. The man who took Amber could have walked right in and no one would know. Donna went on television. "We want her back. I beg you, don't hurt my little girl." The investigation spread fast. Detectives began tracking every registered sex offender in Tarrant County. They chased over 5,500 leads in the weeks that followed. One additional witness reported seeing a black pickup truck near a grocery store in the area roughly 30 to 45 minutes before the abduction. Whether it was the same truck was never confirmed. The statistics investigators try not to think about kept climbing. In stranger child abduction cases, 75% of murders occur within the first 3 hours. After 72 hours, the odds of a child being found alive dropped to near impossible. Day 1 turned to day 2, then day 3. Donna already knew what the silence meant, but she refused to stop. If you haven't found them within 24 hours, they're more than likely dead. I just stood outside, constantly waiting and waiting and waiting. As the hours turned to days, media coverage decreased. Fewer volunteers came. More people began to believe that whoever took Amber had already driven her to another state. And the question on everyone's mind stayed the same. Who does something like this? And why Amber? January 17th, 1996, just before midnight. A man named Stuart Coker was walking his dog near the Forest Hill Apartments in North Arlington. His dog pulled toward the drainage creek behind the building, a creek that had swelled after a major storm the night before. In the water, face down, was a child. Coker recognized her immediately. He had seen her face on the news for 4 days. He called 911. At 11:41 p.m., Arlington Dispatch confirmed what no one wanted to hear. It was Amber. Her body was found 4 miles from where she was taken. The storm had swept through the night before, and the rushing water washed away most of the physical evidence from her body. She was unclothed except for a single sock on her right foot. Investigators collected what fiber evidence they could, and for 29 years, they have preserved it. The medical examiner determined that Amber had been kept alive for at least 2 days after her abduction. She did not die until January 15th or 16th. She was held somewhere close enough that her body was never moved far, somewhere private enough that no one noticed. Her throat had been cut. Police tried to prevent Donna from reaching the scene that night. The condition of Amber's body was too severe. Donna was told she could not hold her daughter the way a mother should. What Donna said publicly about that night has stayed with everyone who heard it. They told me one thing I can't do was pick her up and hold her. I wanted to hold her, but I got to hold her little hands, and I told her, Mommy's here now. It's okay. Amber's funeral was held January 20th, 1 week after the abduction. Thousands attended.
Police officers, classmates from Barry Elementary, teachers, strangers from across Texas who had followed her story for a week and felt they already knew her. America the Beautiful was played, her favorite song. She was buried at Moore Memorial Gardens Cemetery in Arlington. In the weeks and months that followed, Arlington police built a dedicated task force. The FBI compiled a behavioral profile of the suspect. Their assessment, an opportunistic predator who targeted Amber because she was alone and accessible. He was intimately familiar with the Arlington area, given how close he kept her body to the abduction site and how well he knew the surrounding terrain. It was not an easy place to put the child, one investigator said. He either lived or worked near where she was taken and where she was found. The profile suggested he may have been under personal stress at the time, recently unemployed or dealing with a significant life disruption. He likely lived in a house or secluded property, not an apartment, somewhere a child could be kept for 48 hours without detection. Police also noted something striking. He left no fingerprints on the bicycle. He grabbed Amber under her arms deliberately. The careful disposal of the body, the choice of location, the proximity to the abduction site, the knowledge of the creek, suggested either significant premeditation or a level of local knowledge that pointed directly back to the neighborhood. We have every reason to believe that this individual may have committed this crime before, investigators stated publicly. Over 7,000 leads were investigated. None led to an arrest. Somewhere out there, someone knows this individual, and they have not come forward after 6 months. I can't grasp that. The case went cold, but it was never closed. While investigators kept working, the community kept asking the same question. Why did it take so long for anyone to know? Jim Kevill had called 911 within minutes, but by the time police could respond, by the time the public was informed, by the time Amber's face was on television, hours had already passed. And in a case like this, those hours are everything. A Dallas woman named Diane Simone watched the coverage of Amber's disappearance and felt something harden inside her. She wasn't in broadcasting. She wasn't in law enforcement. She was an ordinary mother, but she picked up the phone and called a local Dallas-Fort Worth radio station. Her question was direct. We send weather alerts over the radio in real time. Why can't we do the same thing when a child is abducted? The idea connected immediately. Dallas-Fort Worth area broadcasters teamed up with local police and developed an early warning system built on the existing emergency alert system infrastructure. They called it the Amber Plan, both a tribute to the girl who inspired it and an acronym, America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response. The system went live in 1997. In 1998, the first child was rescued because of it. An 8-week-old infant named Ray Lee Bradbury, abducted by her babysitter in Arlington. 15 minutes after the alert went out, a driver spotted the truck, called police, and they pulled it over. The baby was recovered safely. State by state, the system spread. In 2003, President George W. Bush signed the PROTECT Act into federal law, establishing the Amber Alert as a national system with standardized criteria across all 50 states. Amber's family was in the room when he signed it. Today, the alert reaches phones, radio stations, highway signs, and television broadcasts simultaneously. As of 2024, it has been credited with recovering more than 1,000 children in the United States alone. Versions of the system now operate in over 30 countries. Amber Alerts play a critical role in finding missing children across the country. You see it pop up on your phone. A few seconds of panic, and now people become the search party. They become the rescuers. The year is 2019. 23 years after Amber's abduction, her case remains unsolved. May 18th, Fort Worth, Texas, 15 miles from where Amber was taken. Salem Sabatka and her mother are walking down 6th Avenue at 6:38 p.m. A resident's door camera captures what happens next. A man tears Salem from her mother's arms and runs. The mother's screams were caught on that same footage. Police were called immediately. The neighbors shared the video. Investigators identified the type of vehicle from the footage, a gray car, and launched a multi-department manhunt. At 7 p.m., a second security camera captured a clearer image of the vehicle driving away. An Amber Alert was issued. Salem Sabatka, taken by force. What followed showed exactly what the system was built to do. Ordinary people, armed with nothing but a phone and a description, became a search party across an entire city. One of them, a pastor named Jeff King, drove through Fort Worth looking for that vehicle. That same night, he found it. In a hotel parking lot. Police rushed to the scene. 2:22 a.m. Body cam footage captures the moment they break down the door. Officers find Salem. She is alive. Here she is. We got her. We got her. Salem Sabatka was one of more than 1,000 children recovered safely because of the Amber Alert system. This is a time when the alert and social media were truly a force for good. They become more than just eyes and ears. They become the rescuers. Amber's mother never stopped. In the months after Amber's death, Donna testified before Congress. She advocated for stronger federal laws protecting children. She pushed for a national sex offender registry. She did all of this while raising Ricky, while grieving, while living in the apartment she and Amber had shared. Representative Martin Frost, whose district included Arlington, proposed the Amber Hagerman Child Protection Act. One of its provisions laid groundwork for what became the National Sex Offender Tracking System. Donna also allowed the documentary crew to keep filming, because she understood something clearly. If people forgot Amber's face, they might forget the urgency. The footage of those months shows a woman who had been broken into pieces, trying to hold her family together for her son. A lot of times I want to be with her, but I have my son, and I look at his precious little face, and I couldn't do that to him. I think back on how much of a fighter she was, and I don't want to let her down. I want her to see that Mama could keep going. Ricky, meanwhile, was struggling. The boy who had left his sister in that parking lot couldn't stop asking himself the one question nobody could answer for him. What if he had just stayed? Would she still be here? On January 13th every year, Donna shows up. She speaks to the media. She speaks to the public. She speaks directly to whoever killed her daughter. Amber desperately needs justice. I'm not going to give up on her. Never. In 2021, on the 25th anniversary of the abduction, Arlington police held a press conference and confirmed something publicly for the first time. DNA evidence had been collected from Amber's body and preserved for nearly 3 decades. Advances in genetic genealogy, the same techniques that identified the Golden State Killer after decades and cracked the 1974 murder of Carla Walker in Fort Worth after 46 years, have given investigators real cause for renewed hope. A DNA profile may now be buildable from evidence that was previously unusable. A memorial was unveiled at the abduction site in Arlington. A $10,000 reward from Oak Farms Dairy remains active for information leading to an arrest and conviction. The man who took Amber has never been identified. By now, if he was in his 20s or 30s in January 1996, he would be in his late 50s to mid-60s today. He has lived with what he did for nearly 3 decades. He may have a family. He may have moved far from Arlington, or he may still be there. What investigators know, he was familiar with the area. He kept Amber less than 4 miles from where he took her. He acted quickly and deliberately. He knew the terrain. What they have: DNA evidence carefully preserved. A vehicle description never matched. A witness account never contradicted. And a family that has never let this go. Detective Grant Gilden, lead investigator on the cold case for years, has been clear. We believe this case will get solved. We believe there is no way the killer could have committed this crime without someone seeing, hearing, or having some knowledge of what happened. Sergeant Ben Lopez, who has worked this case since 1996, put it simply: I would love to be able to give Donna and Ricky the answer they would like to know. Who did this to Amber? And bring that person to justice. Every time your phone buzzes with an Amber alert, a piece of this story is still running. A 9-year-old girl on a pink bicycle. 8 minutes. 1 witness. A mother who refused to let her daughter's death mean nothing. Donna said it best. When I hear the Amber alert, and I hear a child is back and reunited with their parents, I look up to heaven and say, oh, you did it again, baby girl. She is still taking care of our little children as she did when she was here, and I am very, very proud of my daughter. The Amber Alert has saved over 1,000 children. Each one of them has a family that still has them, and every single one of those recoveries traces back to a warm January afternoon in Arlington, Texas, and a little girl named Amber Renee Hagerman. Her case is still open. Her killer is still out there. If you know anything at all, call 817-5758-823. A $10,000 reward is still active, and a family is still waiting. If Amber's story moved you, subscribe. This channel exists because these stories deserve to be told, and because the people at the center of them deserve to be remembered. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next case. Thank you for watching.